Sansa.
Did you know about Ramsay?
Does death only come for the wicked and leave the decent behind?
Who makes a claim?
I claim the Salt Throne.
Knowledge has made you powerful, but there's still so much you don't know.
Run, wake up!
It's a fascinating thing because we've been watching these characters now for 6 seasons, and this is the first scene they've had together. 2 of the most important characters on the show, and they've never been together on camera before. It just worked out beautifully.
The idea that after all Jon and Sansa had been through as characters, that they're finally able to put a foot back on solid ground in terms of family and somebody with whom they have a bond that runs deeper than any other bond. It was a big moment for the 2 of them, and for us to see it played out.
And to learn where these 2 are going to go with a relationship that never really meant that much to either one of them before, but now means so much because at this point they're all that they have.
They both suffered so much, and they've both been through so much, and it's interesting to see the different directions that their individual sufferings have taken them.
Can't stay here, not after what happened.
There's only one place we can go. Home.
Or should we tell the Boltons to pack up and leave?
We'll take it back from them.
Jon's just not ready to get back into the fight. Since he left Winterfell, it's been essentially one long fight against everyone possible. He fought as hard as he possibly could, and then he was killed. And so he just wants out.
It's really only the additional pull of family and finding out that Rickon Stark is still alive that forces his hand and pulls him back into this fray he was trying to step away from.
A monster has taken our home and our brother. We have to go back to Winterfell and save them both.
He has to do the right thing. That's what makes him Jon Snow, and that's why we love him, and that's why he gets himself killed.
We enter these negotiations with open eyes. Trust me, my own recent experience with slavery has taught me the horrors of that institution.
How many days were you a slave?
Long enough to know.
Not long enough to understand.
One of the historical examples that we looked to when writing these scenes was, oddly enough, was Abe Lincoln, because Abe Lincoln was trying desperately to stave off a civil war between the North and the South, and he wasn't ready to get rid of slavery quite as quickly as people think. I mean, he was trying to talk to the Southerners and work out some kind of compromise at first. And, you know, with Tyrion, it's, as he says to Grey Worm Missandei, slavery is an evil, war is an evil, and I can't end both at once. So what's the solution here? The whole point of diplomacy is compromise.
Here is the Queen's proposal. Instead of abolishing slavery overnight, we will give you 7 years to end the practice. In exchange, you will cut off your support for the Sons of the Harpy.
His proposed compromise, which he thinks of as a good idea, is incredibly offensive to Missandei and Grey Worm, who were slaves. And, you know, from their point of view, you don't make a compromise with slavers because that's making a deal with the devil. So they're entering into these negotiations with the slavers with deep skepticism, but Daenerys did choose this man to advise her, so if he's saying there's a chance, they're willing to try it, but with grave suspicions.
You will not use them. They will use you. That is what they do.
Vos معنا vos خال أنا فوقك يري vos معنا vidrek Imagine Anne having knock.
One of the things that was interesting for us is, you know, seeing how Dany can be strong when she's not in a position of power. You know, all the calls of all the gathered Khalasars were within the Temple of Ashkelon. And Dany, an unarmed little woman, killed them all by herself. You know, she didn't have a dragon fly in and do it. It was all Dany.
The end of episode 604 was definitely meant consciously to echo the end of episode 110. It's Dany stepping out of a flame to great effect. This time it was just on a much, much larger scale.
Rebirth is clearly a theme this season, you know, whether it's Jon Snow or Dany emerging again from the fires. When she did it the first time, only, you know, a few score people witnessed this miracle of Daenerys Targaryen emerging unscathed from the flames. Now it's the Dothraki as a people who witnessed this.
The act of stepping out of that burning temple in which all the Dothraki power structure had just perished pretty much makes her the queen of the Dothraki in one fell swoop.
And of course, it's hard not to be impressed when you see her emerging from the fires unscathed. It's like a god being reborn, and that's why they all bow to her.
For Daenerys, for my character, it was just one of those like, not since season 1 have we had an opportunity to do something like this. The idea of what she does in Phase Dothrak, it's something she's been thinking of the entirety of season 6, but it's only when she sees Jorah and Dario that she knows that she can actually go through this, because there will be someone at the other side.
We will never get out of Phase Dothrak alive.
All we can do is try.
We can do more than that. And you're going to help me.
So her plan is for Jorah and myself to take down the guards and wait for the big meeting between her and the leading Khals, which I don't completely have faith in, you know. I've never seen her walk out of fire.
She has a beautiful speech telling them everything that she believes in, and then she calmly, coolly knocks over the fires and sets them all alight. Each time she pushes over a new pyre, she gets more confidence.
For Jorah, the sequence mirrors the first time that she steps into the pyre that Khal Drogo was burned on. And of course, he starts to understand that she's going to survive the fire. The Dothraki, once again, that witness it, just fall on their knees and see this extraordinary goddess.
Seeing her walk out of the burning temple, it blows him away.
The rebirth of walking through the fire again as a way of, like, proving not only to those around her that she is exactly who she says she is and they deserve to bow down towards her, but also for herself. And I think that proof of knowing that she doesn't need the dragons to be the leader and the warrior that she is exactly what makes her the kind of character who could sit on the Iron Throne.
Loris. You need to stay strong.
I can't stay strong.
Loris is in a very bad place. He's been in solitary confinement for a long time. He's kind of taken this downward spiral, and he's definitely a changed man.
You are the future of our house, the future of our family.
I don't care about that.
Obviously, we've seen other characters on thrones go through similar experiences, and I think Finn does a fantastic job of breaking down one of the best knights in Westeros into a man that has been systematically tortured mentally and physically.
They want me to help tear you down. That's why he's letting me see you. I know it is.
Loras has been underneath the Sparrow's command for quite some time now, and he just wants to do anything he can to get out of that cell and to stop being tortured.
If either of us give in to what they want, then they win.
Shit! Win! Just make it stop!
I don't think Marjorie feels responsible for Loras being in prison. I think she feels a sense of responsibility to get him out. But what good is being queen if she can't get herself out of incarceration and her brother out of incarceration?